Hi everybody. It is Friday afternoon and I wanted to check in and tell you guys a little bit about what's going on with this group coaching that I've been doing for the last 4 weeks now and with some of my other teen clients. So without telling you who they are, obviously, because that's none of your business, without telling you who they are or anything, I wanted to let you know what we've been talking about in sessions so that you can get a better idea of what I do and know that how this could possibly help your teenager or your niece or nephew or some kids in your classroom. So this week, we really talked a lot. Well, last week, let me back up. Last week, because I didn't go into it very much, last week we talked about seeing yourself and going through the actual motions of what it is that you want. So if whatever their goal is, and they all have very different goals, they, a lot of them revolve around grades or sports or fears and different things that they have. So taking those goals that they have and then looking at what it would be like or what it would feel like for them to move past those goals. And, we talk about this technique that if you can look this up on the internet because it's all over, but it's a technique that actually Michael Phelps used a lot. So because swimming is really the only sport I know very much about, and I know that this is a technique that Michael Phelps started using back when he was like 7 or 9 years old. So his coach, whose name is Bob Bowman, asked him to swim his race every night before he went to bed. So what they did was and Michael Phelps had really bad attention deficit issues and was needing to focus. So one of the things that they had him work on was this idea of closing his eyes and laying in his bed as a 7-year-old and 9-year-old, I can't remember which, and swimming his race. And how his body would feel on the block and how it would feel when he took off the block and how it would feel moving through the water on his, like what did the water feel like on his skin? How did his arm move? How did his hand enter? How was he kicking? What was the tempo? If you don't know swimming, this is a lot, I know. But basically, they had him go through every single second of that race every single night. And if you watch footage of Beijing, the Beijing Olympics, after he finishes, and they say, hey, how did you pull that off? And he said, I've swam that race thousands of times. It's because he literally had swam it in his head thousands of times. There's this crazy correlation between doing things in your head and muscle improvement and muscle reaction and actually muscle growth, which is berserk to me, like completely bananas that swimming a race in your head can actually increase muscle strength. Obviously not till full on swimming, but even fractionally it has an improvement. So that is one of the things that we have worked on, and not in swimming, but whatever their goal is to have them do, it's called future pacing. So we've asked them to really think about what is it that you want and what would that feel like for you? And when I say feel like you, I don't mean like on your skin. I mean like, how do you feel when you accomplish that? Because if you see yourself accomplishing something, it makes a big difference. So we talked a lot about that, and you would think that that would be like we would move forward, right? But at this point last week, so this week when we talk, we moved on to talk about, well, if you know what that feels like, why aren't you doing it? And if you know what those feelings are that we've put words to now, whether it's joy or confidence or accomplishment or strength or, capable, and we use those words and we say, yeah, you're all of those things, why aren't you doing it? So we move into the idea of what's holding them back. And I'm telling you that these kids guys, they're deep. They get into it, and once you bust through all of the reservations that they have and that shy awkwardness, and they're teenagers, and in the beginning they don't really want to talk that much. And once we move forward a little bit more, we're to the point now where we're getting pretty raw, right? We're talking about, if I succeed, then this bad thing could happen. And we start looking at, well, what are the good things that could happen if you succeed? But let's be honest, what are the bad things that could happen if you succeed? And we talk a little bit about, if you picture a scenario where maybe let's say you've been trying to watch what you eat, and you go eat at your grandma's house, and your grandma's like, you're so thin, have some more, eat some more. And you don't want to hurt her feelings, right? So you just eat it, and then you feel like crap later. Those kind of situations, but maybe not about mashed potatoes or whatever the heck your grandma's feeding you. Whatever it is that they're terrified of, and they've got some big, honest fears and some big things that they're trying to break through. And you guys, this week was fantastic because we really started busting down some walls, and that's what we're working for. So I'm so excited to be able to tell you that I am seeing confidence, and I am seeing honesty, and I'm seeing feelings being put into words. And that is really what excites me and makes me excited to be able to offer this to everybody. Teenagers, yes, adults too, of course, but to be able to tell you that that's what we're working on, and those are the kind of improvements that we're making. So that is really super exciting for me, and I'm so proud of them, and so excited to be able to tell you guys that, drum roll, we're gonna have another group coaching session that will start in April. So they all run about 2 months. So this one started at the beginning of January and it'll finish at the end of February. I'll start another one in April, and I'll have that registration code. It's out there already. And these are for any kid ages 13 to 18 that wants to become more confident, that has a big goal that they want to reach. If they're shy, if they're struggling with friends, if they have really low self-esteem, if their confidence, if they don't even know what they want to do, if they can't get their blocker organized, whatever it is, or that you're really struggling with, we talk about communication, and we talk about why it's so hard for them to talk to their parents or their friends. And we talk about all the awesome things that they can do, but they figure those things out on their own. I don't tell them why they're awesome. I already know why they're awesome. They get to figure that out. We talk about their creativity, and we talk about their gifts, and we talk about organization, and we talk about what they eat and how they sleep and their stress and all of those things in this package deal. And it's so empowering and exciting, and I'm so happy that I get to bring this out here to you guys. So I hope that you will share this video with your friends that have teenagers. The groups are open for 13 to 18-year-olds. Now, I'm not putting a 13 and an 18-year-old in the same group because that's a recipe for disaster. So if that is the case, then, and we have the numbers, then we would break them into two groups because 13 and 18-year-olds don't need to be talking about the same things. But it's out there, and it's waiting for you, and I'm super excited to bring it to you. Also, adults, if this sounds like something you would like with your friends, your coworkers, or whoever else, we could do the same thing with adults, okay? Adults and teenagers' issues aren't that much different. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, you're like, I don't have a teenager, but I sure would like that for myself, great, let's do it, okay? So I hope you guys have a fantastic Friday and a great weekend, and that you will ask me lots of questions and share this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next week. See you later.